I'm Garrett, I'm 19, and so far I've refit my tiny sailboat, the North Sea 27, sailed from Hawaii to Tahiti alone, and now I'm exploring French Polynesia. Pretty soon I'll be sailing further across the Pacific to Fiji and then to New Zealand. Since the last video I posted ages ago, I spent more time scuba diving and sleep depriving myself in the Tuamotus, hauled the boat out, and went home for what I thought was going to be peak cyclone season. You'll see later in this video that my cyclone season predicting abilities might still need some work. I'm back on the boat now, ready to start sailing, but the first half of this video is made up of old footage, so if you want to watch the present, skip to 10 minutes and 13 seconds. This video starts in Fakarava in the Tuamotu archipelago, and I'll be heading to the Society Islands of French Polynesia. Been here for a while, and I'm about to pick up anchor and head for Tahiti or Moorea. Should be a 3-day passage or so. I got the anchor up. I was caught in a couple little rocks, but I was able to get the anchor up just by weaving the boat back and forth to untangle it, and I'm off to the pass now. Okay, I'm fully out of the pass into open ocean. It's a little bit choppy out here, but as expected, you know, it's blowing 20 knots or so. Not a problem at all because I'm going downwind. It's just about sunset. I'm sitting outside eating my oats. I'm pretty low on food. That's one of the big cons of the Tuamotus. There's almost no fresh food or anything like that. Got a nice full moon coming up. It is the afternoon of day 2. 29 hours in total and 162 miles in, which is pretty good for my boat. I don't usually go that fast. I've got 3 reefs in the main, not really because I need it, it's just nice and easy that way, and the full jib out. I was able to get some sleep last night. There's some pretty terrible rolls that come through because the wave will just catch the boat and basically knock it over a little bit because it's going downwind and just happens to do that. But nothing bad. I'm just kind of hanging out, listening to Harry Potter and waiting to make landfall sometime tomorrow morning somewhere. It is 10:50 or something like that. I have one boat showing up on AIS. I can see it now. It's maybe 2 miles away. Morning of day number 3. I can see Tahiti, so land ho, minor land ho, but still land ho. I decided I'm gonna skip Tahiti and just go straight to Moorea. There's not a very good chance I could actually get a slip in Tahiti, and I don't want to anchor. The anchorage in Tahiti is pretty horrible. Having another absolutely splendid meal of oats. I noticed that my dried milk kind of smelled like cheese, so now I'm just having dry oats. If it looks like I'm not happy very often in these videos, it's not because I don't appreciate the lifestyle I'm living, it's just that grumpiness seems to be the victorious emotion after multiple nights of little or no sleep. My old dinghy and engine setup was questionable to say the least and limited the things I could safely do, so I joined an order my friend was making for a new dinghy. There's a ferry that runs between Tahiti and Moorea on a regular basis, so we rented a car, picked up the new boats, and brought them back to the anchorage in Moorea. Here they are, new dinghies.
Okay.
Thing's huge. This was $92, believe it or not. So, as you can see, it is a beautiful day in paradise. Nice and sunny. I'm at this spot called Opunahube on Moorea. Been here for the last couple days, just hanging out and settling down after that little passage from Whakarava. And now I'm going to try to make my way towards Tahiti to get a slip for cyclone season. There was some pretty crazy wind last night. Like, I'm guessing it gusted up into the 40s. My dinghy actually took off, like took flight and flew onto the boat, which was kind of funny. Luckily I took the outboard off just before that happened. Just dumb luck, and that turned out fine. But yeah, I'm gonna pick up anchor and head to Cook's to give the outboard back to my friend, and then to Tahiti. I did a fantastic job making the boat tidy for this massive 10-mile passage. Nothing just thrown around, really organized. It's kind of my usual systematic strategy. So things got a little bit trickier. You can see this guy is straight in front of where I'm aimed. Basically, he was way over there last night, and then in that wind he dragged anchor. Actually, it's not a he or a her, there's no one on it, it's a derelict boat. But now my chain is gonna go right past him, and I think what I'll have to do is put the tiller to one side and then motor forward as I'm pulling up the chain, and then that way when it gets closer to picking up the anchor, it'll already be over there and it won't bonk into him, hopefully. What I mean is pretty much just the tiller's on the right all the way. I'm gonna put this into gear, run up and do it. Nope. Oh, fuck that. What I ended up doing was just putting the boat into reverse, dragging anchor on purpose, and getting away from the other boat that way. Okay, I'm out of the bay, and it is only about an hour to Cook's Bay. I'm just gonna stop there for maybe an hour, and then head straight to Tahiti today if the forecast is looking okay. And if it's not, then I'll go tomorrow. There's a little storm just south of French Polynesia that might come up, might not. I'm gonna see in a little bit. This is Sailing Vessel Hooligan hailing Papeete Port Control.
Yes, who's calling Papeete Port Control?
Yeah, this is Sailing Vessel Hooligan. I'm requesting permission to enter the main Papeete Pass in roughly 15 minutes.
Would you please call me 5 minutes before entering Papeete Pass?
Yes, will do. Thank you. I just gotta call the guy and make sure there's no big ships coming out to bonk me, and should be good. Then I'll look for a slip just left of the pass. Yep. Okay, I'm in. Now the hard part is going to be docking, finding space that isn't taken. To get the boat ready to leave for cyclone season, I thoroughly washed the dinghy, thoroughly washed everything on the boat, took the sails down, took all the lines off the deck, put new dock lines on, new dock line shock absorbers, and then did that all backwards to get the boat ready to leave again. Shortly after arriving at this marina, I realized it was a joke. The previous harbor master cut the pilings to hold the docks together down for aesthetics, meaning whenever there's a northwest storm wind, the docks can literally come off, and this was forecasted to be a bad cyclone season. So, immediately after de-rigging the boat for storage, I re-rigged it and sailed back to the Tuamotus for a haul out. I was going to leave the boat here for cyclone season, but this harbor is pretty problematic, and I got a haul out in the Tuamotus to keep the boat for cyclone season, so I'm gonna do that instead of leave the boat here. And I got the boat re-rigged, all the sails back on, everything strapped down and good to go. I'm headed to the Tuamotus tonight. The boat made hilariously slow progress on the way back to Opataki, and I didn't sleep for more than a few hours in a total of 4 nights. After arriving to the anchorage near the boatyard, I enthusiastically cleaned the boat until the sleep deprivation high wore off, and then went to bed at 3 p.m. and slept until 9 a.m. the next morning. I remained a slug and felt physically ill for several days after this trip due to the lack of sleep. This feeling seems to get worse every time I do this. 3 months later, while editing this video, I'm back in the boat yard and ready to start sailing again, starting now. To get back to Hooligan, I flew from Tahiti to Tikehau, Tikehau to Rangiroa, and then Rangiroa to Opataki on a Beechcraft that had 4 people in it. This was all surprisingly affordable because French Polynesia is subsidized heavily by France and they have to make this affordable for their residents. I have someone with me this time for the Tuamotus, mostly because my last sail here made me a little bit concerned for my health regarding sleep deprivation. Alright, after 2 months, I'm finally back to the Hooligan. I'm gonna check it out. Okay, I'm back on the boat. It feels really good to be back. I'm actually quite happy. Don't know where to start, so I'm just gonna start pulling stuff out and laying it on the deck and on the ground and go from there. Alright, the boat looks actually quite a bit better than I expected. There's not a lot of mold inside. Batteries are in good condition, it looks like. No rats. I have everything outside and she's cleaning up inside. Here's all the stuff we brought from Tahiti and home. That all went in the tiny airplane to get here. Don't know how they let us do that, and it wasn't even that expensive. But here's all the stuff I stuck on the cargo ship from Tahiti. These are my 2 bags from Hawaii, and brand new outboard, new stove. Yeah, it's all going pretty smooth so far. It's good to be back. Okay, first somewhat major problem is generator was running for a little while, and then water level came up to here or so from rain. It wasn't enough to get into the casing, but I'm thinking it may have been able to short circuit the on and off switch just from humidity, moisture. I'm hoping not, because this is one of the most important things on the boat. But I'll take it all the way apart. I already drained the carb and cleaned it and all that basic stuff, changed the spark plug, so it's definitely an electric issue. I just gotta hope that I can fix it with WD-40 and air compressor. Okay, so I have it all the way open. This is only about 300 times past my mechanical pay grade, so that's good. All I can do, I think, is take apart the connectors and spray WD-40 or isopropyl alcohol in it, and just hope that after a few days baking in this horrid sun, it starts working, but who knows. Well, I tried pulling it a couple times with the whole case off and the spark plug against the ground, and it looks like it's sparking, so it's better than yesterday. I think I'll put it back together and see if it starts. Alright, I'll hope for the best. Yeah! Well, it runs with the choke, but not if it's in the normal position. Alright, generator is running well now. This is fantastic news. I was quite worried about how I was going to get by on the Tuamotu sailing portion without a generator, but it's running well and I'm all good. Living large on Hooligan. Tonight we got powdered potato and beans.
Seems delicious.
So I have been at the boatyard now for 4 or 5 days, maybe even a little bit more, I don't remember. But there's a small cyclone or a depression that's gonna roll through south of the Tuamotus and French Polynesia, so things are gonna get a little bit rough pretty soon. Possibly winds, you know, 35, 40 coming from the north, which is quite bizarre. I'm walking to the beach right now to see the waves start to form. The atoll is kind of shaped like this, and the wind is coming from here going down, so the waves can get a lot bigger than they usually do here. You can see the white caps are kind of starting to form a little bit, and yeah, it might get interesting. It's been pretty nice these past few days, except for the terrible heat, but the outboard store in Tahiti sent me the wrong engine. They sent me a 9.9 extra long shaft, so it's completely useless to me, meaning I haven't had a dinghy for the last 5 days, which would have been a big enhancement to the quality of time here, but it's no biggie. Things could always be worse. Pictured here by this probably $2 million Outremer 55 that ran aground very hard for some reason. The other side's even worse. It's been here for quite a long time. Seems like the owners just kind of gave up on it by leaving their $20,000 dinghy right there. Here's this side. That ain't gonna buff out. Over by the boat, I can't feel any wind, so I guess that's a good sign that it won't get too rough where Hooligan is.
Non, c'est pas ici, il fait demi-tour, mais comme ils ont un téléphone satellite. D'accord. Mais ils répondent pas au téléphone satellite. Non.
This is how you get to the grocery store in Opataki. The food selection here was quite limited, as you can see, and I don't currently have any way to cook on Hooligan because the propane tank also didn't make it to Opataki. One benefit of the little storm, besides it not being so bloody hot, is coconuts already on the ground. It's been the savior of the stay here in Opataki, is fresh coconuts. Always gotta look up and make sure they don't fall and hit you in the head and kill you, but here's one right here. Aw, no water. Nope. Yup. The cyclones were kind enough to wait for my return to start. This one, Cyclone Nat, never developed past a Category 2 and it dissipated for the most part before it hit French Polynesia. The wind at the boatyard never got above 35 or 40 knots and it was a relatively minor weather event compared to what it could have been. I'm hoping this was a one-off event for this season. today is supposedly the worst of the depression. It was a cyclone, it was Cyclone Nat, but that dissipated before it hit Tahiti, and then now it's just a little tropical depression. It should be gone by tomorrow night. It's clearly not too bad because I can just walk around drinking freshly cut coconut water, but some rain and wind, and don't even feel the wind at the boat, so it's nothing major. Just might be a while until I can go back in the water. Okay, well, looks like splashing. They didn't really tell us that today was the day, so we're kind of rushed, but you can see everything sort of just thrown in the boat, but whatever. It'll be good to be back in the water. It's been so bloody hot here. Engine?
Ouais, start.
Looks good. Alright, everything seems to be going pretty good so far. I'm about to enter the pass. It's supposed to be slack tide according to the charts, but you never really know, so I'm gonna give it a shot and then hopefully find the mooring ball in the little harbor and get the boat fully prepared because we left in a rush, and then maybe go to Rangiroa. I'm not too sure yet, but it'll be fun no matter what. Pretty strong outgoing current actually, but it's okay. It's protected, so there's no big waves. Okay, so finally, after 2 weeks melting and getting eaten by mosquitoes in the boatyard, we left and are now hanging out in Opataki town, just enjoying the more moderate heat and lack of mosquitoes. Tomorrow morning, I'm planning on heading to Rangiroa, which is 80 miles west of here. It's supposed to have really good diving with dolphins and great water clarity, awesome coral, and all sorts of that stuff. So heading there tomorrow morning, and I'll see you then. Alright, that is going to be it for this video entry. Sorry for cutting it a little bit short, but the last couple days have been a little hectic. Yeah, I'll be heading to Rangiroa tomorrow morning, and by tomorrow, I do mean tomorrow. Today is February 15, meaning it's the same day this is posted, hopefully, and I'll see you next time.